edition of City Review. I'm Carlton.
And I'm Sharon. Lead story concerns a report released by the D.C. Department of Health last week about HIV and AIDS.
District wants to reduce both new transmissions and diagnosis of AIDS. As the number moved downward, the number of people living with AIDS will continue to move upward.
70% of persons living with HIV and AIDS are 40 and over. As of December 31st, 2007, 15,120 district residents were living with HIV/AIDS.
Now, that figure represents 3% of the population over the age of 12.
And 7% of district residents are aged 40 to 49. Here are living with AIDS.
4% of black residents are infected with HIV and AIDS, followed by 1.9% of Hispanics and 1.4% of whites.
In 2008, the district distributed 1.5 million condoms.
Florida evangelicals have a plan to reduce the state divorce rate 10% by the year 2012.
This campaign, called Strong Marriages Florida, is a 3-year marriage movement. Legislative reforms include increasing the fees for marriage licenses and filing for a divorce.
Most of the debate over marriage focuses on the role of marriage as a social, moral, or religious institution. Marriage is also an economic institution.
Benjamin Scafidi released a report entitled The Taxpayer Costs of Divorce and Unwed Childbearing. Strong Marriages Florida believes that strong marriages will create strong families.
And Portia De Rossi issued an apology for marrying Ellen DeGeneres. The apology was declared on the show Jimmy Kimmel Live. The clip can be viewed on YouTube.
The Obama administration will endorse a United Nations Human Rights Declaration which petitions for the global decriminalization of homosexuality.
All of the members of the European Union, Japan, Australia, Mexico, and 36 other countries support the document.
The Washington State Domestic Partnership Measure passed the Senate by a 30 to 18 vote. The measure is expected to pass the Washington State House as well.
3 Republicans voted for the measure which provides for civil unions.
Palin, Vermont, marriage equality hearings began with many people arriving to listen to and to voice their opinion on this issue.
Opponents of the bill showed up. The number of people allowed to enter the hearing room was limited.
Vermont lawmakers expressed confidence that the bill will pass this session. A group of lawyers representing 15% of the state bar are in support of legalizing same-sex marriage in Vermont.
Sarah Palin is back in the her Sarah Pack DC staff accepted the invitation for Palin to speak at the annual National Republican Senatorial and Congressional Committees dinner without confirming with her Juno staff.
Palin's Juno staff was trying to do some damage control and check Palin's June schedule.
Sources have stated that at least one Sarah Pact employee was dismissed because of this incident.
DC for Marriage new pledge campaign called I Do in DC will kick off on Saturday, March 28th.
This will be a person-to-person outreach campaign aimed at educating district residents about gay people and marriage equality.
The event will begin at 10 a.m. at 1402 12th Street Northwest.
For the Bible Tells Me So will be presented at St. Margaret's Episcopal Church on Friday, March 27th at 8 p.m.
This documentary explores homosexuality, the Bible, and the family.
Last week, Alan Dismore represented the D.C. Center's elder think tank and testified at the D.C. City Council Committee on the Aging Oversight hearing of the D.C. Department of Aging. There was a kosher dogfight at a Brooklyn restaurant last week when Orthodox Jewish patrons discovered that they had been served brand S chicken franks.
Longtime patron was curious why the plump wieners he purchased at Shekel's Shawarma King didn't fit properly in the challah roll.
Hasidic patrons and other 13th Avenue passersby surrounded the counter of the restaurant, hurling accusations and questions at the manager.
No one was arrested, and it was later determined to have been an unfortunate accident. The greasy spoon ran out of wieners, and a non-Jewish staff person went out to the wrong store and purchased the wrong hot dogs.
Thank you for joining us for this edition of City Review. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.